Welcome to the Noctuary Apocrypha. This is where you'll find any games that aren't part of our current main continuity. We'll skip around from time to time, place to place, and from game system to game system. So think of Apocrypha as the box of yellowing letters you find in the attic, filled with glimpses into other times and other lives. Hello, and welcome to the Noctuary. We're going to be without Patrick this month, so I'm going to be stepping into the GM, or rather facilitator, role for today's game of Chiron's Doom. Chiron's Doom is a horror storytelling game. It is GM-less, so that's why I will be facilitating instead of running. Joining me as my fellow players today, my fellow explorers into the monument, are going to be Dev.
Hello, he, they.
Alex.
Hello, they, them.
And Zuki.
Hello, hi there. Yes, he, him. I'm very excited to play this. It looks cool.
All right. Let me say that Chiron's Doom is written by Nick Bate, and it is available on itch.io. All right.
For a mere $10 as well.
Yeah, it's a good price. This was originally designed as a solo journaling game. However, it can accommodate, in the book it says up to 3 players, but I have played this with more, and it's never had a problem. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to be exploring Chiron's Doom. It is a monument at the edge of civilization. No one knows what it does, who made it, or why. Every other expedition going inside this monument has either never returned or only a few people have returned, has defied all previous attempts at understanding. So there's no real reason to believe that our expedition is going to be any different, but here we are, explorers standing before the monument, driven to try where all others have failed. How much are we going to be willing to sacrifice to solve the mystery of Chiron's Doom? So what we're going to do is, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to create our setting. So the first thing is we need to come up with what our genre is. We want these to be fairly specific genres. Fantasy is going to be too broad. The more specific and weird it gets, the more fun it will be. So this could be gothic science fiction. It could be science fantasy, dark fantasy, cosmic horror, arcane punk, mythic solar punk, Afrofuturism. There's a lot of options. So does anyone have a setting that they think it would be fun to explore?
Gas lamp fantasy.
Ooh.
I really feel like this is a sci-fi setting. I think sci-fi works with the things that have been set up here, but I don't know, I'm open to other ideas. I like the idea of like a hard science sci-fi.
Okay.
2001.
Are you talking like Alien?
Well,
I would
yeah,
like retro sci-fi.
Yeah, a
like
kind of
that.
sci-fi that's I guess I'm thinking Dead Space here, but with a bit more, maybe a bit more of the gothic elements to it too, if you want to introduce those. But yeah, I mean, if you want to do something Space 1899 style, that'll be kind of interesting.
Now, I will say, I don't think it is locked in science fiction. Don't get me wrong. I love me a good precursor race monument of horror. But if you think about it, a dungeon appears on the outside of town.
Mm-hmm.
You know, any number of enchanted caverns, expeditions into the realm of fairy. This is a very fertile game. I love sci-fi. I'm here for it, but I want us to feel like we have a lot of options.
I'd like to avoid anything kind of like Victoriana, because there's a lot of colonialism built into that. So I want to kind of avoid that kind of setting.
So do we want to stay away from steampunk, Victoriana kind of stuff?
Anything that kind of like explorers into an unknown continent type thing. I think I
Mhm.
want to go for like either something that's completely outside of the normal genre of that kind of stuff, like a totally new world, or maybe go for post future or something like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
That'd be interesting actually to do kind of a post futurist one where it's like severely post apocalyptic and we're like rediscovering bits of technology. So we're still like quite relatively primitive technology wise, but
Mhm.
we are rediscovering something that is post apocalypse. It's like thousands of years later, and we've rediscovered these things. Or I was talking about somebody the other day about the idea of these like where Earth has rediscovered FTL travel and now
Mhm.
goes and finds all of the abandoned colonies of the previous civilization.
Oh, absolutely. That has a very Sherry S. Tepper vibe to it, and she is one of my favorite authors of all time.
Hmm.
All right, so I'm pretty interested in the idea of humanity discovering space flight again without realizing that we had discovered it before.
Yeah, and maybe I mean it doesn't even have to be that we've discovered it, but we have found the technology, and maybe we are quite, still quite socially and technologically backwards, but we found out how to use this technology and kind of make it work. It could be like that, or we could be genuinely be literally thousands of years after it and coming into it. Does that sound cool?
Well, if we're looking for if we're investigating this monument, it could be that we just aliens crash on our planet in the future. We reverse engineer FTL travel, and we're kind of just now we kind of just go to different planets. We find things. I don't know.
We are starting to get a little too into the weeds. We are going to build our monument next. Right now, we're just kind of trying to choose the
Okay.
genre.
So let's say post-futurist with yeah.
I kind of like okay. I like retrofuturism where it's like the technology is like Alien.
Mhm.
That's kind of the vibe I got. I don't know, but
Okay. So Alien is retrofuturist, but I would also describe it as space horror. Yeah, I think I would describe it as space horror.
Dark and dirty, gritty
Yeah.
space horror.
So
Yeah,
do we want to go space horror?
I think there'll be elements of space horror in it.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
I think I like the idea that we're sort of reverent of whatever we're finding, which is a rediscovery of a civilization that we once were. Yeah.
And this might be something fertile ground for differences between our characters with the attitudes we're taking. All right, so we are going to go with space horror. Next, we're going to build our monument. Chiron's Doom is a unique edifice unlike any other in this world or beyond. Far from the comfort of familiar places, the first glimpse of its alien features can drive an explorer to the heights of spiritual awe or the depths of atavistic terror. So, what we're going to do now is we are going to give the monument 3 descriptors. I have a table of cards, and we will be drawing cards to 3 cards to give us an idea of what the monument looks like.
Okay.
So, let's see. Let's go ahead and let's pull our first card, which is all right. My first card drawn is the 5 of spades, which gives us the word parasitic.
parasitic.
Oh, like maybe it's leaching stuff from the ground it sits on, like everything around it is dead, or
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Or
grass
maybe
doesn't grow, or the trees aren't.
I'm imagining it kind of looks like a tree.
I also like the idea maybe it's leaching from people that have approached
Yeah.
it. So there are literally maybe worshippers or
Like-
something. Yeah.
Like there's like a mile around it. There's like a thing of like rocks that people have put in front of the like this radius where things can't
Well,
grow or whatever.
I don't even think that you're going to need to put rocks. I think it's going to be very obvious when you look to it that everything around it is dead. Like you have like this lush environment around it, and then all of a sudden there's a big circle where everything is
a
dead.
dead spot. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I like the idea of a dead spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be leeching, like Zuki said, leeching from the followers. So you have maybe like the followers are like emaciated, skeletal, like still somehow alive, but very much.
Oh, that's interesting. What if instead of what about the idea of the higher the form of life? I'm using higher in a not great way, but I don't have another word for it right now.
More complex.
Yeah, thank you. The more complex the life, the less it kills you. So like it kills plants because it just draws too much. But animals look thin and hungry, and humans or other sapient beings are like emaciated and have to, really have to work to keep weight on if they are in and around Chiron's Doom.
Could have like a feeding tube in our mouths to keep
you guys,
our nutrition up.
We would have to like make sure we are bringing a bunch of rations, and that's interesting.
What happens to the rations when you cross over the line is the real question.
I don't know. Let's find out. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull our second card, and that is the 2 of clubs, adding on the word mechanical.
Ooh.
So it's parasitic and mechanical.
Yeah, like, so I kind of was thinking, like, if we're rediscovering our old technology, like post-apocalyptic sort of thing, maybe our technology is very dirty, like grungy almost, and this thing is just really, really sleek, and that's partly why it stands out. Like, it's mechanical, but it's almost like art-like.
Yeah,
maybe it looks like a tree or something.
Yeah, I mean, a tree imagery sounds really good. Maybe what it is it's some vast mechanical structure that we don't fully understand, and it is partially inside a tree, and the tree has come to be the same material, like wrapped around the ship. Kind of like if you've ever seen a tree that's being taken over by kudzu or something.
Yeah.
You still have the shape of it, but it's now just a different material.
Yeah, I think a biomechanical sort of tree-like structure is good.
Yeah. All right. And our third is the 8 of diamonds, and it's illuminated.
Ooh.
So,
like bioluminescence almost.
Yeah. Or the tree now looks like a machine. Maybe thinking like Geiger-esque.
Well, it is ultimately a piece of old tech, I guess, if we're going with that.
Well, but we don't know. That's the thing. We don't know. Right now, none of us know. And the prompts...
that could be one of the theories.
Exactly. We will be getting prompts that will be telling us things that we will come up with. Well, what is Chiron's Doom exactly? We don't quite know. But what we do know is that it is an illuminated, parasitic, mechanical thing on the outside of civilization, on the edge of civilization. All right. So now that we know what Chiron's Doom looks like, we're going to go ahead and gather our explorers. Everyone who comes to Chiron's Doom is not sensible. Now the monument calls to the desperate, the strange, and the pathologically curious, the driven and the lost, seeking something they cannot hope to find anywhere else. So, we are going to determine the identities of our explorers. I will be flipping 3 random cards and looking at a table, and that will give us the base role of a character, and then we will create who they are from there. So who would like me to draw first for them?
I can go first.
All right, Dev.
Oh boy.
You have drawn. Wow. Awesome use of the language, dude. All right, you have drawn the Eternal Warrior.
Eternal Warrior.
Yeah, so think about that while I draw for myself and Zuki and Alex.
This is gonna be funny.
All right, who wants their fate next?
Sure.
All right, Alex. You are 5, an expert in alien intelligence.
That plays right into my usual type of characters.
I know. I'm a little sad that you didn't get the Eternal Warrior. I'm looking forward to that happening at some point. All right. Zuki, do you want me to go next or do you want yours?
You go next.
All right. I have drawn a queen. Ooh, the wielder of a renowned weapon. That's interesting. What does that look like? All right, Zuki, last but certainly not least, 6. Ooh, a practicer of forbidden sciences.
Ooh.
Okay, wow.
So we have 2 warriors and 2 scientists. This is an interesting expedition. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to answer one of the following prompts from the perspective of each explorer. So I'm going to quickly copy paste these prompts into our Discord, take a look at them, and read out the one that you are most interested in.
So why do you distrust one of the other explorers? Could be a good one for me if Zuki is practicing forbidden science and I'm
It's true.
presumably not practicing forbidden science.
Yeah, but you're crazy enough to be here at Chiron's Doom.
Yeah. that is fair.
There's a little bit of pot calling the kettle black there.
Well, I mean, alien intelligences could mean a few different things.
Mhm.
It could be something science-y, but it could also be something linguistic-y or...
Absolutely. It could be, it could also be etiquette. For example, I would consider someone who understands fey creatures to be an expert in alien intelligences. But the thing you need to know there is how to behave.
Yeah, so almost like from an anthropology side.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. All right. I think I will go for...
I've got an idea. Okay.
Oh, go for it, Zuki.
Okay, so what drove you to seek out Chiron's Doom? And I think I am a sort of worshipper of what this thing is, and I've heard its voice calling to me.
Ooh.
Bring it to go and witness it, and I feel like it's my duty. I've kind of been maybe been in contact with it in some way, in a very minor way, and now I'm driven to find it. I think maybe I've been quite open about this as well, so that I want this to be. You guys know that this is why I'm here, and perhaps some of us have conflicting agendas on that regard. But at the very least, I think I've been driven by visions, by feeling like I've made contact with it, whether I have or not, or I'm just delusional is yet to be established.
Exactly. I love it. That sounds great. I think I'm going to choose what secret are you hiding from the other explorers? And I think that the wielder of a renowned weapon is hiding the fact that every time they have to use their weapon, it takes something from them.
I got one.
All right.
What promise have you sworn to fulfill? Who have you promised it to? I think I'm here to basically make sure you are fulfilling your duty to investigate this monument.
Ooh, who is the you here? Is it all of us?
I would say all of us.
All right. So you are there to say that we can't go back.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. That dovetails rather interestingly with a mechanic that we haven't talked about yet, which is at any time an explorer can give up and go home, can just flee the monument. So that could be some very fun roleplay if people are into it. Are we interested in having that level of conflict between our characters?
Mm-hmm. I think we'll see in play. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to check in safety wise to make sure that everyone is on board for potentially tense conversations about someone trying to give up and someone else trying to not let them. Is everyone on board with that?
Yeah.
Cool. I am too.
And then there's also another part of the question.
Yep.
Who have you promised it to. I feel like Eternal Warrior sounds like some kind of imperial, kind of like the Empire from Foundation. Kind of. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like it's a very imperial kind of. I don't want to make us, I don't want to say that's what we are. We're part of this some kind of great empire, because we're not, because it's like.
Go ahead, Alex.
Sorry, Dev, you can veto this because obviously this would pertain to your character. But a thought I just had when you said that was if maybe there is an old empire that used to be, pre-apocalypse, used to be like widespread and great and all powerful and whatever. And there are still some remnants of the old empire amongst some of the people. So the empire itself no longer exists, but the attitude and the warriors and the whatever from it are still very much around and trying to cling to that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Yeah, you don't have to. It's your character.
No, I'm sorry. Eternal Warrior, it's like I am, like, obviously I can die, but as long as I have lived for a long time.
So that's a question. Can you die? Do you die and come back?
I guess that will be a question we will explore.
Yeah. All right. So
I might
go ahead, Alex.
Okay, because I kind of, the one I suggested earlier was very, just a cursory read.
Yeah.
So I think maybe my character, I think I'm going to go with your suggestion that kind of like leads into a more anthropological sort of science. And I think maybe their drive is to communicate with the people who stay beyond the line and are now weirdly emaciated and who knows what. Try to talk to them more.
I kind of feel like there's a little bit of like a fantasy element to the game now.
Yeah.
Just a smidge.
I mean, the line between fantasy and sci-fi is very, very thin.
It really is.
Especially post-future, because post-future is often fantasy with sci-fi elements. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Nicole, have you answered the question yet?
I have. The wielder of a renowned weapon is carrying this renowned weapon, but doesn't use it often because, unbeknownst to anyone else who does not wield the weapon, it takes something from them every time it's used.
Okay.
I do have a follow-up question for that.
Yeah.
What is the something? Is it something physical? Is it something mental? Is it like you start losing body parts, or?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay. I'm looking forward to hearing.
What form does the weapon take?
That's a good question.
Imagine a machine gun.
You feed your bones into it.
Like a futuristic claymore.
It's a machine gun that shoots toes.
10 bullets only.
Yeah.
I think of Isle of Dogs where he's got like the teeth gun.
A water gun, but it shoots out acidic blood.
So let's go with, I want something, because our Chiron's Doom appears to be kind of straddling fantasy and science fiction. I'm kind of interested in my weapon kind of straddling fantasy and science fiction. So I think I'm going to go with some kind of energy sword. Something that, like, lightsaber-esque in that it's an energy blade, but it's not a lightsaber, if that makes any sense. If nothing else, I have a fucking crossguard. All right. So, last question for our explorers. Are we going to name them, or are we going to maintain some narrative distance by using descriptors?
Okay, I have a suggestion.
Yeah?
I feel like, since this is post-future, what if they go by, not by names, but by titles?
Titles or handles?
I don't even think handles. I think just titles.
Interesting.
I do have a question about that in a futuristic world. Like, is there enough structure in it for there to be titles for everybody?
Well, it might. So surnames used to be how you distinguished which Peter you were talking about.
Yeah.
Peter Smith, Peter Miller, Peter Fisher, Peter Farmer. And so you don't necessarily need a high level of complexity within society to end up with titles as being part of your name.
Okay.
Like, if I'm an Eternal Warrior, my title could be the Old Guard.
Nice. What would people call you?
Like, name-wise?
Yeah. Like my explorer needs a sleeping bag that you are standing near. What do I yell?
Grald. G-A-L-D. Grald.
Grald. All right.
So we do have names then, per se, but also titles.
Titles, yeah. Grald the Old Guard.
All right.
If that's too...
No, I think
I
it's
don't know.
interesting.
That works.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
I mean, when I say that it's post-future, it's not like it's post-apocalypse and we're all kind of very, very primitive and very...
Yeah.
A new order has established itself with its own... Yeah, there would be titles, there would be
Post-apocalypse.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
exactly. It's a rebuilt but shattered society from its
Gotcha,
previous
okay.
technology. Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
So yeah, I think we should have names. I think we should have titles as well. I mean, that makes sense. We are bound to be fairly important people. Is it just us as characters, or will we have retainers?
Nope, it's just us. We are the 4 explorers who are going into Chiron's doom. No one else is dumb enough to go into Chiron's doom, or desperate enough.
Okay, so I'm going for Tasmin Krieger.
Ooh.
She is the high priestess
I
of the fractured mind.
love that. The High Priestess of the Fractured Mind.
So we believe that, yes, we're kind of semi-psychic, or we believe that we're semi-psychic, whether we are or not. And I think some of the people that are surrounding it are members of the previous members of the cult that came here and were all horribly destroyed. So I've returned on my own, saying that I can get through this. I have the power to overcome this, or I believe I do.
Very cool. So that's Tasmin Krieger, the high priestess of what?
The fractured mind.
Fractured mind. All right. Alex, have you come up with a name yet? Or is there going to be a little dead air while you and I both think frantically?
Coming up with names is my Achilles heel.
It is the worst.
It's rough.
Yeah, well, and also coming up with the title, because I think my character has more ties to like institutional sort of stuff, like being more academic. So titles for that tend to be a little bit less unique, I guess.
I guess it's more yeah. It could be like you're the scholar of insert institution.
Not even institution. Why not specialty? Why not have the forward-facing title for this character?
Scholar of tongues.
Be whatever their real specialty is. So like Seeker of Hearts, or
I do like Scholar of Tongues. That's a good name, Deb.
it is good.
Thank you.
Say Natalie.
Good.
To say Saint Natalie? I don't know. I like the idea that you're considered a saint of tongues.
I like Scholar. I like Scholar's good.
I think Saint gives too much religiosity.
Yeah, we don't want to overload the religion.
Fair enough.
Or at least...
Yeah, I think we need to have a separation between, the scientific...
Church and state.
religion.
Church and science. All right, I'm going to go with Polgar.
Oh.
Is my character's name. I think they use they/them pronouns, and they are very androgynous. Not in like the super hot, sexy way. I see all of you out there like me. Not in the super hot, like too pretty to be human way. But in the just, this is a person, and it is a person who looks like they are being slowly hollowed out.
What is their title?
Well, it has to be regarding the weapon. It's a legendary weapon. So I
Does the weapon have a name?
I was about to say, like an idiot, I decided to make a character that needs 2 names.
Oh.
Ugh.
So your character can be like wielder of insert name.
Yeah, or just the whatever.
Yeah, true.
I have a couple suggestions for a sword.
Hit me. The best thing I have right now is Polgar the Star Sword, but
I was going with Star, but I was going to say Star's Bane.
Star's Bane. Interesting.
Or Polgar of the Yawning Void. That's the name of your weapon, the Yawning
The
Void.
Yawning Void. Nah. What about something like the Star's Fire? Because it takes from its wielder, I'm kind of interested in maybe having a little bit before that, in the sword that kind of hints that it consumes its wielder.
Star's Fire is pretty good.
Yeah. Is there something that we can do with like black holes?
Well, that's what I was thinking with the Yawning Void.
Yeah.
Or the Horizon's Edge.
Yeah, Horizon's Edge is good.
Ooh.
Like event horizon of a black hole.
Yeah.
You know what? I like Horizon's Edge. Maybe instead of an energy sword, it's a sword of darkness.
Like dark matter.
Yeah. You guys haven't seen it yet, but when you do, it will be rad as fuck.
I'm imagining like if you like move the sword around in a particular way, you can see like a black hole kind of forming in like the reflection of the blade.
See, I think the blade is just blackness. It's just it's like blackest black, like Stuart's.
Like OLS.
Yeah, it's just.
Well, let's not get too deep into this.
Yeah, we're in the weeds. All right, so we have Tasman Krieger, we have Natalie, we have Polgar, and we have Grald. That's all
Just
4
Grald.
of our explorers. Grald the Old Guard, Tasman Krieger, High Priestess of the Fractured Mind, Natalie, Scholar of Tongues, and Polgar, the Horizon's Edge. All right. So there are normally 3 modes of play for Chiron's Doom. You can do this as a journaling game, you can do this as a game of dialogues, and you can do this with synopses. I figure that we will probably start out doing dialogues. We're playing out a short scene. It could be the middle of the action. It could be a discussion after the day's events, however we want to do it. And if we start to run out of time, we can jump to synopses, which is for a faster game. Instead, you get the prompt and you respond to it with like a little bit of synopsis, flash fiction-y kind of feel. All right. So I am now going to all of that shuffling that I so carefully did. I am now undoing because we are separating the deck into suits, because we will be adding suits in as problems as the game continues. All right. I have undone all of my work.
Yay!
Diamond cards, which form the basis of our expedition deck, and they represent knowledge about the monument. So whenever we draw diamonds, we know that we will be getting some kind of we will be getting a prompt that helps us create knowledge about the monument. Hearts represents the rising tensions between the explorers. Clubs represent the monument's escalating resistance to the explorers. And spades represent intrusions from the outside world. So we start off with nothing in our deck but diamonds.
Okay.
I will also be adding into our initial expedition deck the 2s of all 3 of the other suits, because when a 2 is drawn, it adds that suit of cards into the deck.
Just pulls a 2 immediately.
I have been in games where that happened. All right. We are now ready to tempt fate and delve into the mysteries of Chiron's Doom. So let's go at. We're going to open with a prologue that sets the scene for the challenges to come. Play then involves flipping cards from the expedition deck to find out what happens next, with each card representing a new day for the explorers.
Okay.
All right. So, but with our prologue, it can be either the arrival. One explorer is the last to arrive at the monument. Who is it? How are they greeted by the others? The last meal. The explorers share a final meal together before setting out. What do they discuss? Or 3 moments, for us 4 moments. 4 small private vignettes take place on the night before the expedition, one for each explorer. What do each explorer's actions reveal about their emotional states?
I quite like the idea of the meal, actually.
The last one gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, but I'd like interaction. I want us to be interacting from the start because I feel like it's a good way to explore our characters. But yeah, okay.
If we wanted to hybridize, if we wanted to have some small scenes that could be multiplayer, could be multi-character or totally private, we could also do that. All of these prompts are very wibbly-wobbly. If we come up with a prompt that we like better, I think we should absolutely use it.
I think maybe, what if we do have private rituals, or rather rituals that we all do the night before, but we don't have the privacy. We are actually living in like a base camp without any privacy, and we have to do whatever our things are in front of each other.
I think that's interesting. So we could start in zoomed in to a character and then zoom out to, the others around and like kind of half seeing what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds interesting.
Thoughts, Alex, Dev?
Yeah, I like the idea. So just to make sure I understand correctly, we're already there?
Yeah.
We're at the base camp.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, or if, we don't want to get too into the weeds about how we got to Chiron's Doom because the game is about going through it.
Right. No, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
I understood. Okay. Yeah, no, I like that.
All right. So let's set the scene. Where is Chiron's Doom? Are we on is it in a desert? Is it in a jungle? How did we get here?
I would say that it should be somewhere with lots of life, just so the dead zone really pops.
Yeah. I agree with that. Do we want to do like temperate forest? Do we want to do tropical forest?
Yeah, I quite like the idea of a normal forest that isn't particularly
temperate,
exotic. Yeah,
like a pine or an oak.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in the center of a valley.
Ooh, that's interesting. You can get some. All right, so let's say it's a valley on the other side of there's a mountain range between Chiron's Doom and the nearest settlement. So we had to get to the monument through a mountain pass and then down into the valley before we ever even saw it.
Yeah, okay.
Zuki, what is the thing that we see when we crest the ridge of the mountain looking down into the valley?
Yeah, I think the woods themselves are fairly overgrown, but there are the occasional like stelae-like structures which once seemed to be connected in a line heading towards Chiron's Doom that kind of project above the trees and a kind of a weird white plastic sort of that's now stained and brown and discolored and flaking off in places. But the actual valley itself, is overgrown, like completely wild forest, not at all kept, with these stelae kind of littering it. And maybe in patches of the forest where it's less dense, you can see bits of rubble from previous buildings of older times.
Awesome. Alex, what does the monument look like from our mountaintop vantage point?
From the mountaintop, I think you can probably see it maybe looks less tree-like from up here because you're looking at it from a higher perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So it almost looks like a big, almost scrap heap of mechanical stuff rather than I think it gets more structured the more in line you get with it.
Ooh. So the closer we get to it, the more the mechanics make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Dev.
Yeah.
We know that the plants are all dead past the ring. What does it look like? Is it a fading out of plant life? Is it a transformation of plant life? Is it just dead?
It is just a dead stop.
So a hard line between.
Yeah.
Has that line ever moved? Is its influence increasing, decreasing, or staying the same?
For as long as Grald has been alive, it has never moved.
All right. So we all descend into the valley, travel through, probably spend a day bushwhacking through the forest. I don't imagine there are any maintained trails. And we finally it's a lot easier once we hit the deadline, but then we just see it in front of us. So it's time to set up camp. What does everyone's personal tent, is there something important about the way that they're setting up?
Grald does not set up a tent.
Ooh. What does Grald set up? What does Grald do while making camp? Let's start this vignette with Grald making camp.
Grald does not have a tent. Instead, what he has on is actual fabric.
Mm-hmm.
He's put over kind of his head. He kind of has armor on.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems to be, I like to think around the monument, it's very cold.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of the forest, maybe it's a bit warmer, but it's very cold kind of towards this, and he seems fine with it.
What does he look like?
He is very gray. I would say, he has kind of a silver tinge to his skin. He has these black eyes, and he has this kind of kept short, I want to say, red hair.
Cool.
Very bright red hair. And again, he has this kind of armor on and this hood over his head that he keeps on kind of at all times. He is setting up for everyone else to make camp. He's getting the fire going, putting out the nutrient-rich paste that we were given. And yeah, he's kind of doing other duties.
Mm-hmm. And what's his basic emotional state that you can see in his emotions? I made an assumption there. What pronouns does Grald use?
He, they.
Okay. Then tell me, what are they doing that betrays what they're feeling? What are the, what's going on in their head that you can see?
I think while he's doing this, you notice something kind of falls off of his, or from around his neck. This kind of golden pendant kind of falls off of his neck.
Mm.
Somehow, maybe the chain broke or something like that, and it opens up, and you see a woman with hair that is bright as his. It's braided. In the picture, this woman is smiling, and he very quickly snatches it up and puts it in his pocket, or clips it to his whatever, to his armor. I think he looks around very, I would say, tired.
Okay.
It's been a long journey.
Mm-hmm.
His emotional state is tired.
Rude.
All right. Let's check in with the scientists. Well, the scientist and the priestess. Natalie, Tasman, which of you would like to go next?
I can go.
All right. And is this a scene that other people are welcome in?
Yes, absolutely.
Good times.
I mean, if you wish to. So I think, Tasman, she has set up what is kind of a half tent with some sleeping bags in it, but the other half of it is made up of a kind of a little display board, and it's covered in photographs of people. And she is sort of, you can see that she is very emotional and she is very reverent to this. And she kneels down in front of it and is just mouthing a prayer for the souls of the people, and reaching out, seeming to reach out. And she starts naming each of these people who came here before her, were part of her sect.
Mm.
She's a woman in her sort of 40s. She looks like just like a typical suburban housewife, except for the odd sort of kind of priestly garb. But she's a very ordinary, homely face, and you know that she is probably one of the last of this cult and she did not come with the others, but she has come to try and make peace with their souls. And she greets each of them in turn as if she's speaking to them as if they're here and present. And she touches each photograph.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Alex, what is Natalie? How is Natalie setting up camp? What are Natalie's pronouns?
She, her.
All right. What is she doing in these last hours before they go into the monument that they may never return from?
I think she probably, especially compared with the others, I think she probably is the least, or like the most out of place seeming. She had to be taught how to use her tent properly, and she still has trouble setting it up. She insists on doing it by herself now, but she definitely, especially compared to the other tents that are set up, it's one of the sadder ones there. But she also doesn't really seem to care. I think so long as she has space for her sleeping bag. Not sure what kind of technology or whatever we have, but I'm assuming sleeping bags are probably.
Yeah, camping technology really doesn't get a lot better.
Yeah. Well, no air mattress inside there.
It's true. God damn it.
The dark energy mattress that sucks your energy while you sleep. No, I'm kidding. But so long as she has space for her sleeping bag and her books, of which there are a surprising number of books that she's taken along with her, in spite of the fact that it seems very impractical for the type of expedition they're going on.
How do you have paper?
Oh, trees. There are plenty of trees.
Fair.
So, but are they physical books? Is it a data pad?
I think she has a mix of both. I think she has a couple physical books that look so old that if you looked at it the wrong way, it might fall apart.
Nice.
Especially, I think she likes to catalog, languages from, dead civilizations, maybe from things that are so old that they can't be scanned properly. And so she does have some of those. I think she's very much preparing for any possible eventuality. She doesn't know necessarily how old the people in there are, what languages they speak. So she's over-prepared.
Nice.
I guess is.
So she's kind of been staggering along behind under the heaviest backpack, despite being the smallest person.
The heaviest backpack with the fewest helpful resources.
Good times.
Yeah.
This is why I had to set up camp.
You had to set it up because if Natalie tried to set it up, everybody would be screwed.
Yep.
So.
No one brought anything reasonable.
All right, thank you. And for Polgar comes down into the valley and efficiently sets up a well-worn but pretty standard camping tent, sleeping bag. They kind of look at they consider the trees that are outside the dead ring for a moment as they contemplate, is having branches underneath me going to be worth the effort to go get branches from over there and it is absolutely not worth it. And they have a simple pack, but they also have a second, larger, second bag that straps onto their backpack. And if you look inside, you see they set it down, and a tumble of packs of high energy nutrient paste tumble out before they gather them up and try to stuff them back into the bag. They look very calm, kind of resolute. They look like they are carrying out something that they're not sure if they want to do, but they're doing it anyway because the inertia of their life has led them here. And I think around the fire, they look at the others and they say, "Did everyone say their goodbyes?"
I am still saying my hellos to my friends who are out there. They need to be saved. Do you wish me to pray for you too, child?
I will take all the help I can get.
We are about to embark on a great and wonderful adventure. I'm sure of it. May I add your image to the wall? I will draw it myself.
Sure. I don't believe. Does that matter?
Where we are going, you will believe. I'm convinced of it.
Well, sure, go for it.
Yes. And you, others? Do you wish me to enshrine you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I've never been enshrined before.
Well, we're about to experience a whole lot of firsts.
What is it you seek there?
Me? Knowledge, peace. This Chiron's doom has eaten a lot of people since it was discovered. And I don't know, maybe we'll be the ones that help it stop eating people.
I'm here to ensure that you will fulfill your oath.
I have taken no oath. I merely seek to find my brothers and sisters that have come before me, and perhaps to find what they too have found, a peace among the old ones.
I think making the choice to go into Chiron's doom is almost an oath on itself. You go in, you descend into whatever is in there, and I don't know, sometimes the decision to go somewhere is a promise to the universe.
Do you think you will return, any of you?
I think we'll return.
Gods, I hope not.
But is that not what you wish, Grold? To study this thing and bring its wonders back to the Empire? That's what I believed you were here for.
I'm only here to fulfill my oath. And that's all I can say.
I see. What does the Empire wish of this place?
I do not know.
We will all be enlightened in time. I'm convinced of it.
All right. That sounds like a good place to break the scene, to end the scene. Does anyone else have anything they want to get in before we go into Chiron's doom?
I think I will put out there, so this isn't anything like in the current scene, but
Sure.
I think I will put out there that for Tasman, I want to say that Natalie has probably been annoying you with lots of questions about your beliefs and the belief system, and is just super enthusiastically interested in all of it.
Oh, cool. Well,
So this entire time, you've had to deal with her.
let's try and do some scenes of that, maybe in future scenes, yeah, because I'd like to explore that.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So what we are going to do now is each day we will draw a card. We will respond to the prompt associated with that card. And when we have decided that that scene is complete, each of us decide if each of the explorers will press on for another day or if any will abandon the expedition. So every night, our characters have the choice to leave Chiron's doom or not.
Mm-hmm.
To quickly re-emphasize our safety tools, listeners, we are playing with safety tools, and when you're dealing with horror games, you should absolutely use safety tools as well. So at any time, if someone is starting to go down a road that you are feeling cautious about, you either say X or put X in our in our Discord, and we will pause, and then we will figure out where we're going and recalibrate if necessary. We are going to be dealing with horror themes. So we're all having fun, and listeners, we want you guys to have fun too.
Nah, I don't want them to have fun.
No, we will be putting content warnings in the episode description because we're on board for this, and people listening should have the same opportunity. We're having fun. We want them to as well.
I guess.
Except Dev. Dev doesn't want anybody to have fun.
Yeah, no. I want you to suffer.
All right. If we draw a diamond, the explorers have discovered a piece of the truth concerning Chiron's doom, which we should describe from their perspective in the response to the prompt. Each discovery brings the explorers one step closer to final understanding. If we draw all of the diamonds in the deck, we win. We have discovered the truth about Chiron's doom. If we draw a 2 of any suit, the situation worsens. The prompts for these cards instruct us to describe how this deterioration manifests and shuffle cards, usually one of the disaster decks, into the expedition deck. If we draw a king of any suit, one of the explorers dies.
Oh.
As we
Cool.
play, keep track of the number of diamonds we've drawn. That way we'll know when we have reached the final diamond.
How many diamonds?
13.
Nope, this is a partial deck.
Oh, never mind.
So we will have 6 or 7 diamonds if one of them is the 2. So hold on to the explorers lightly. Don't be afraid to make them suffer to learn the monument's secrets. We are failing forward, people.
Hell yeah.
All right, there are 2 ways that it could end, by abandoning the expedition or by uncovering the true purpose of the monument.
Or draw 4 kings and we all die.
Also that. I mean, technically that is an abandonment of the expedition.
And the explorers at the same time.
Yep. All right, so let's begin. I am drawing our first card of Chiron's Doom. That is the Jack of Diamonds.
Oh, okay.
The monument speaks to the explorers. What does it say and how? So I think that we have entered the... Well, do we want to pick up this scene after we have successfully entered the monument, or do we want the first secret to be how to get in?
I think we should be approaching the monument, and maybe the message is coming from the souls or the minds of the people that were sucked into it, a kind of babble of noise.
I really like that.
Well, I was thinking like a hologram or like a warnings
What if it starts out as voices babbling warnings, and as we press on, they become quieter and more unified until right before we go inside, there is the hologram that allows us to speak clearly, if briefly, with the monument.
Yeah, I think I'll pick up on the voices. And can you hear them? They sing as a choir.
Shh, shh, shh. Sorry, I'm trying to make out the different voices. I think I can recognize some dialects in here.
You have a very different definition of sing than I do, Tasman. Some of them are screaming.
They
Just
find it.
we have to keep going.
We should. My brothers and sisters, those that screamed, they did not accept what it was giving them. But others, I hear their joy.
I think Natalie pulls out like a notepad. I think she has like a tablet or the like, and she's just she's kind of stopped moving, and she's just writing down anything that she can make out, cataloging what language it is, how strong of a voice it is, whether, what it sounds like, things like that. This type of, a bunch of different voices babbling is kind of like, like a kid in a candy store.
We should not dwell too long, my dear.
The kid learns so much.
It will drag us down.
My character is in the back of the group, and I have my hand on my energy claymore. And if any of you try to run, maybe stop or, look like you're about to flee, I either push you along or I will bring my blade out.
I'm not trying to flee. I'm just trying to write stuff down. Just give me a second.
No, if you're stopping, I push you along. Yeah.
Hey, don't touch me.
Gerald, come on.
We should keep moving. It is dangerous to stay for too long. They will sing to you to your sleep, and you will not move. Come, we should move.
All right, let's...
Hey, fine. But Natalie gives a dirty look to Gerald and kind of goes with the others.
I stick my tongue out.
I think as we approach the side of the monument, a pattern of light appears in the air. And by pattern of light, I mean shifting colors that twist in strange, writhing patterns. It's like looking at a three-dimensional Escher painting, and it flashes, and it changes colors, and it makes odd noises. And then finally, after it babbles in a bunch of different languages, it says, "What brings you to the doom of the Chiron?"
I seek answers. I seek your counsel.
So it's called Doom of Chiron, not Chiron's Doom. Interesting. She writes that down.
The Chiron lies before you.
Well, we should enter. Come on. We have so much to discover.
You wish to enter?
Allow us entry, please.
And the side of the monument nearest to us folds in on itself with an odd mechanic, but very, I'm groping for words here, that boneless movement of like a snake or especially a swimming snake.
Writhing.
Just
very fluid.
Boneless, fluid, but with the angular precision of robotics or mechanics. So an angular fluidity. And if anyone can draw that, that's amazing, because I'm not entirely certain what I'm saying even as I say it.
I'll add that to my pile of things to draw for the book.
There we go. The sides of the ship, ? Fold back and create a ramp into what looks like a featureless hallway, but it's techno-organic.
It's covered with slime. It's kind of grimy.
All right. I'm here for the slime room.
Okay, I think that's good enough for the scene.
I agree. All right. Next draw. Ooh, we are getting lucky. This is a 3 of diamonds. The monument is larger, taller, or deeper than the explorers thought. Where does this new discovery take them?
I say deeper. I say it goes into the earth, and maybe like the sucking of energy or whatever is happening, maybe it goes all the way down.
Well, that's great. So, Alex, take us on this journey.
Okay, so we step into this structure, and I think you said it was like a staircase.
It whatever you want it to be.
Okay, well, I think as we get in, so it has like the glowing lights sort of that we established. So I think it's probably like there but faint. So we can. It takes us a minute to realize the true scale of the place. But as you look down, like as we're going down, if you look, you kind of see it spiraled down, and we realize that we can't see a bottom. Maybe it's just the darkness. Maybe it's just that we can't see it, but it looks like it goes down for quite a while.
Incredible. Are there any lights in the darkness?
I think maybe almost like fireflies, but more techy. They look kind of like fireflies, like they're little blips of light here and there. But if one gets close to you, it's nothing like a firefly. It's like a weird,
Like a little drone.
a little babby drone. But yeah, like these kind of like maybe just floating pieces of glowing tech. It's hard to tell.
I think that Polgar manages to snatch one out of the air, and they hold it in their cupped hands for the others to kind of to get a look at. And I think it looks like a insect, like one of the local insects, the version of, the common housefly.
Yeah.
But it is made up of tiny, tiny slivers of metal.
Yeah, I like that.
I think it tries to burrow its way into your skin, and you have to kind of flick it off.
Yeah. Like Polgar shakes it out of their hands and curses, and puts their hand kind of reflexively goes to the empty hilt that rides on their belt that you believe to be the horizon's edge, but you've never actually seen it. And then pulls their hand away.
I think, we're looking into this space with these tiny dots of light, but we can see it just opens up into this cavernous, huge area, like bigger, obviously, than the outside seemed to be. And it's illuminated by this movement, which seems to go off into infinity, but there's a huge vaulted black ceiling, which reflects these tiny lights, and a gradual slope into what almost seems like perhaps water.
Maybe there is like little holes where these things have burrowed their way in. Trypophobia warning.
Yeah, so it's like almost a hive.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. So the first room was full of slime. The first day we had to kind of trek through slime as we explored the monument. This second day, when we discovered it's deeper, is it still slimy? Has it dried out?
Maybe the slime
Has congealed.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe
It's turned into like a thicker resin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But and I think we can still occasionally hear the voices, but they're more whispered, more subtle.
I think that maybe where the resin has congealed in like big lumps, it's illuminated by a glow from inside. And when we get closer to these glowing resin lumps, that's when the voices get louder.
Okay.
All right. So, the second day in Chiron's Doom.
So we're kind of trekking through this huge monument, and it is just like enormous. It takes us a lot of time to get through it.
Yeah, I'm now, with what Alex brought forward, I'm now picturing it as like a generational ship size, but mostly buried in only the very tip of it, or a tiny part of it sticking out from where it came to rest.
It's like a rendezvous at Rama. Huge, enormous.
Yep.
Crazy, but very kind of featureless, I guess, because we're seeing just very small changes in the difference of what we're seeing.
Mm-hmm. All right. We are now at the end of the second day. Is everyone still in?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think Natalie probably had to be prodded along a little bit more, because when she figured out that the voices get louder near these like clumps of resin, I think she very much is like going up to each of them and seeing if they say the same things or different things, and is very much slowing down the progress.
Awesome.
Geralt's like, all I can say is they better be.
Why would you doubt our dedication, Grold? What is it you know that would make us turn back?
I know just as much as you do.
It seems odd the Empire would send us here at sword point if it didn't know more of what was going
They didn't tell him.
on.
He's just as much of a patsy as we are.
Typical of their methods, yes. They never seek enlightenment, only control.
I would hold your tongue or lose it.
Grald, you are not going to harm anyone here. Either the monument kills us or no one does. Pulgar meets Grald's eyes very steadily.
The only thing you can see in Gerald's eyes is your own reflection. Now more emaciated and, I would assume, tired.
Well, that's a question. How fast is this work, like this decay, working on us?
I think it's more interesting if it's
Subtle?
Yeah, if it's not like within hours, but I think that if everyone eats 6,000 calories a day, it's okay. But
we'll run out of food at some point.
Exactly. It's hard to bring enough food.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if you eat that many calories in a day, you would die.
Oh no.
Nope.
No. I used to do Olympic weightlifting, and no, if you are putting on muscle, I have a friend who hiked the Appalachian Trail, and he went through easily 6,000 calories a day.
Jesus.
Yeah, the human body is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, day 3. All right, our first 2, the 2 of hearts. So we will be shuffling in the hearts disaster deck into the expedition deck. 2 of hearts. The explorers have a major falling out. Describe the cause, then shuffle the hearts disaster deck into the expedition.
I think we're setting up very nicely for Natalie and Grawl to get into each other with.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
as well as my character, I think.
Yeah.
So I think. Do you have an idea for it?
Play this out? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we've reached. We come across.
Well, actually, who set the scene last?
Oh.
Was it? No, it was
I
Alex.
It was Alex.
It was Alex. So yeah, Zuki, set the scene for us.
So we have been continuing through this darkness across, kind of sometimes wading through this sludge-like water, and we come to an area where it's a little more defined. There are kind of crisscrossing of lights, and in the center of it is a human body, a person alive to an extent, but hooked up to the wall by various strands of something slightly organic.
Mm-hmm.
And I stop at this point and stare up, and yes, this is one of our followers. Trayvon. I feel him. I grab my set of drawings and I take off one of them and I hang it on his clothing. I must stay here for a while and pray and commune. Listen to his voice.
Should we get him down?
No, he's here now. He has become one, as we all will at some point, I think.
I mean, we can make him unbecome one if we take him down.
No. That'd be sacrilege.
Yeah.
He has chosen this. He has chosen to be here and to be one with the great mind. We are all here to do that, are we not?
Is that the end goal of the fractured mind, to become one with the great mind?
We have sensed. I have sensed this. They sensed it, but they told me I was not worthy to come, and here they are.
Why were you not worthy to go?
They were foolish. That they thought I was not of sufficient piety. That I was not worthy to join them. They said that I was a non-believer. But no. Now look at me. Look at how far we have come. I had to return. I had to come here. We have to stay here. I have to commune with him. Explain to him what has gone on with the sect.
I think Natalie has quietly taken out like a voice recorder and has turned it on and is just staring very intently at you, Tasman.
I have to stay here.
I think Gerald pulls out So like the thing is like this guy is like stuck to the wall.
Yeah, he's kind of. Yeah, I think he's connected to the wall. He's not completely stuck to it. It looks like it could be cut down. Yes, that's for sure.
What's holding him up?
Yeah,
I
what
think
is
there are strands of something which are kind of slightly embedded into his flesh.
Okay.
so it's like the slime or like
Resin.
the
Yeah,
resin, yeah.
it's a more solidified version of it. Yes. So I'm just now kneeling in front of him. I've given him this token, and I'm just praying, like half in the water, and speaking, like slightly under my breath.
Girl just walks up, doesn't say anything, and just one fell swoop.
So that's if you try to do that, Natalie will stand in your way.
Well, then get decapitated. I don't know what you want.
Well, so
No, I'm kidding.
describe the actions, and we'll react.
Right.
All right. So, what is girl doing?
Girl is going up, and he's going to try and cut this person down.
Okay. So Natalie, you said steps in front?
Yeah. So this is, we can't judge their religious beliefs. If this is where he's supposed to be, we can't do that.
Could you check in with him? Polgar is standing kind of on the edge of the conversation, looking kind of in horror at this person. Can we just ask him? I mean, is he actually alive?
He is part of Chiron now. He's one with it. You can't separate him.
Trayvon? And Polgar is like waving their hand in front of the figure's face, eyes. Does it respond at all?
Ooh. I think, yeah, it kind of twitches a little, and the mouth opens slightly, and a few tendrils start to kind of wiggle their way out towards your hand.
Oh, God.
Ah.
Polgar jerks their hand back. I don't think Trayvon's in there anymore.
He is in here. He is around us all.
Then I'm sure he wouldn't mind if we just cut him down.
You don't go and dig up people's graves because you believe they deserve to, or they should be buried in a different way. This is the same thing. We cannot.
They dug up my grave.
Wait, what?
You're dead? No, he chose to be here. He wished to become one, like all of our people did. I think we should respect that.
I don't think we should leave someone stuck to the side of a ship.
Just indecent.
It is what he chose. It is what he came here for.
Maybe?
I must believe that. It's what I hear him tell me, what I hear it tell me.
Maybe the more people that we send in here, the more powerful it gets.
Isn't that wonderful?
No, it's not wonderful. Look what it's doing to the forest.
It is superior. It is able to take one form of energy and turn it into another, even our minds. Is that not divine?
It's an abomination is what it is.
So what exactly did the Empire tell you to do? Come in and destroy everything, or to explore it? Because those are two different things with two different sets of actions.
He doesn't say anything.
Grald, you're gonna have to talk to us eventually. If we have any chance of actually making it through whatever this is, we have to talk to each other.
I'm here for my oath.
What is your oath?
Not to the Empire.
Okay.
To my kin.
Who are your kin?
Those of us they raised from the ground, who told us to march in here, to die.
They did not die. They have joined with Chiron. Your brothers and sisters are here.
Is that what you want, Tasman? Do you want to get this done to you? And Polgar gestures at the body with tendrils
I think
of resinous goo waving out from its mouth, blindly seeking to grab anything that gets near.
I want to join my brothers and sisters. I believe this is a greater mind than the one that we possess. It is what we have striven for in my order, the fractured mind to become one.
So why aren't you grabbing those?
I think I wish to see truly what is at the center of this place before I join it, before I don't know. I was told I was not worthy. I want that worthiness to be given to me.
So, as a compromise, how about we keep going forward, and on the way back, we can talk about letting people out. But for now, we should leave things as is because we don't know what's going to happen. What if we try to cut somebody down?
I think it would be. I think Chiron would react badly to it.
All right, but I'm not here to get eaten by this. I'm here for different reasons. So I need to know, Tasman, that your desire to become one with this is not going to put the rest of us in danger. I'm going to get Natalie. Natalie, you want to leave? You want to figure out what's going on in here and then leave? Yes?
Yeah, I mean, this is like one of the last true mysteries. I need to know, but I also want to be able to tell people about it.
All right. Then when it's time for us to go, Natalie and I are getting out.
I will not try to stop you if you are. Oh, my poor child, you do not understand the divinity that we are within. If only you could, you would wish to join me too.
Nope. I'm really happy not being that.
You do not even understand what that is. And
Yes.
you too, Grold, your brothers and sisters are here. If they did not accept what they were given, then I agree they will be suffering. But perhaps we can teach them.
I'm here to release them, not guide them.
This is not one of your kin. This is one of Tasman's kin. So you don't get to decide for Tasman's group what happens to them. You can release your kin.
That would seem reasonable.
All right. I'm gonna eat, and I'm going to go to bed. So I'll be nice and rested for walking through this in the morning.
I'm going to stay a bit longer. I think maybe we can get something off of them. Maybe they'll talk.
Good luck. And Polgar wraps up in their sleeping bag. I think that they didn't even bother taking the tent inside, knowing that, we're inside, there's nowhere to pitch it. So they just, grab their sleeping bag and roll themselves into it and pull it over their head and pretend like they're asleep.
And I think, Tasman will just stay meditating and looking quite concerned as she continues to meditate, that perhaps she isn't getting the responses that she would like.
What about Grald? How does Grald end up the night?
Gerald ends the night by taking first watch.
Ooh, that's interesting. So we hadn't thought about this. Is there a watch structure, or does Grald just do the whole thing on his own?
I mean, Gerald doesn't need to sleep.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't think I'm bothered about taking watches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel we're under threat here directly.
I think Natalie's too focused on, like, she's watching, but not necessarily for danger. She's just watching to see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's interesting that Gerald, that's a great image, is Gerald just sitting in the quiet light of whatever, like techno camp stove that we use to heat our rations if we need to.
The dark energy stove
just alone in this kind of Geiger-esque horror of a corridor in the dark. Silent? Does he even move when the others Like, what does Grald's nighttime watch look like?
I would say it's him sitting by the light source, whatever light source we have, kind of in the center. His hood is kind of slightly tilted up. His sword is he just has his sword kind of in the ground beside, like stabbed in the ground beside him. He is kind of sitting on the floor and he's just watching.
All right.
The group is in front of him. I want to say the people who are sleeping, they are in front of him. He's made sure that they are into his line of sight.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. All right. Before we draw day 3, is anyone trying to pull out?
Nope.
All right.
No. Mm-hmm.
All right. Going to draw. Dev, you're going to get to set the scene for... Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
I have drawn the King of Hearts.
Oh no!
Well,
So I assume
King
that's
of Hearts.
my death.
One of the explorers kills another.
Oh,
What happened? How does the killing change the dynamic between the survivors?
oh, shit.
oh shit!
So, remember that if we kill explorers, that does not mean we are out of the game. If the explorer that you kind of took lead on creating goes away, that doesn't mean you lose the ability to set scenes. It just means you get to fully be on the side of Chiron's doom.
Okay.
Shit.
I am kind of interested in going ahead and sacrificing Polgar. Oh, wait, hang on. I'm sorry. Dev, I taunted you with you getting to set the scene. So,
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
yeah. Whoever you want to kill.
I don't want to do this without anyone's consent.
Yeah. So no, talk about it and we'll play the scene, but we'll talk about who wants to who's the most interesting person to die.
So I will say that Polgar has gone to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and Polgar was the most seemed to be the most willing to defend Natalie's
Mm-hmm.
insanity,
Mm-hmm.
and Natalie has not gone to bed.
Ooh.
So Natalie could, in theory, be without a protector right now.
That's true. That's totally true.
True, but I believe the thing is that it was.
Nope, it's just one of the explorers killing another. What happened?
Yeah.
How does the killing change the dynamic?
Right.
So it could be, we could set up a scene where Natalie touches something that she shouldn't have and gets Mercy killed. It could be Polgar and Grald get into it and somebody accidentally kills, Grald.
I do like that. Maybe it's like a duel of honor.
All right.
Kind of deal. I don't know. My thought process is like maybe as we get into like the next morning, Polgar was still unsatisfied with Grald's kind of conduct.
All right.
If that makes sense, I don't know.
Yeah, let's open a scene with them kind of. We could open the scene with them kind of coming at Grald a little bit.
I feel like I'm like a very disgruntled knight in service of the Empire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you're like an up and coming. I don't know. It sounds like you're kind of like an up and coming. Maybe I don't want to say you're an upcoming hero of the Empire.
I'm thinking kind of like folk hero-esque in a way that Grald isn't.
Yeah.
So I think in the morning, as camp is being broken and people are eating their rations, Polgar comes over to Grald and says, hey, can we talk for a second?
Fine. Give me a moment.
Polgar kind of hangs out, waiting for Grald to finish what he's doing.
When he does night watch, he unstraps his armor because he just...
You can't be in it 24/7. Harness sucks.
Very... I would say, not to be gross, but it's Beowulf-esque when Beowulf gets naked to fight Grendel. Or I think that's in the movie. Yeah. He's mostly nude.
Yeah.
When he's doing night watch, and it freaks everyone else out.
Actually, I think Natalie would probably be very interested more in the anthropology of it.
Yeah. So, what does Grald's body look like? If he's mostly nude, like what does his body look like?
It's covered with like various, almost ritualistic scarring,
Okay.
and kind of like within, like maybe in the seams of the scars, you can see like these squirming silver hair. Like the stitching seems to squirm a little bit if you look at it too long.
So it's like stitched wounds, not scars.
No, it's definitely wounds. Yeah.
Ooh. I think Polgar kind of shudders a little bit.
And he puts on his kind of blanket armor and he pulls his hood up.
So, I think you need to lay off the rear guard that's less of a guard and more of a threat. Like, what's the deal?
Keeps you moving.
Yeah, why
Keeps
is it
you
so
alert.
fucking important to you that we keep moving?
We don't move, we die. Or you die.
Why?
This place is dangerous. It's called Chiron's Doom. Death is part of Doom.
Not necessarily. But aside, getting away from discussion of words and their meanings, I thought that I would be getting someone who helped me protect the squishies. And instead, I feel like I'm getting someone who is not really interested in letting the squishies do their work so that we can all get out of here.
If you are unsatisfied with my performance,
I am unsatisfied with your performance because I feel like you're not adjusting to the situation we're in. I feel like you are following plans made for you by someone else who's far away and doesn't see what we're seeing. Which is it? Are you here or not?
I am here.
Cool. Are you gonna lay off threatening people?
If they don't move, no.
I'm warning you, Grald. Next time you threaten one of the squishies, you and I are going to... Well, I was going to say we're going to have words, but we're having words now, and I don't enjoy repeating myself. Don't do it again, or we're going to fight.
How about we just get this out of the way now?
All right. And Polgar steps back and takes the empty hilt off of their belt and falls into an easy balanced guard position. Natalie, Tasman, over on the side of the camp, it appears as though Polgar and Grald are squaring off for something.
I take a very, I think my character, being who they are, they take a very aggressive stance. Aggressive, kind of like foot forward.
Mm-hmm.
He's leaned in. His sword is his sword is it is in the stabbing position.
Mm-hmm. And I think that the fight, when it comes, is very short. It's a flurry of blows exchanged. Both. Well, actually, I should have described this as Grald steps into that aggressive stance. Polgar kind of exhales, and as they do, the blade of Horizon's Edge appears, and it is like looking into a sword-shaped hole in the universe.
Oh, fuck.
It is very, very black, but along the edges, you can see a faint coruscation of fire as the light in the room appears to bend around it and be drawn into it. There is a faint, almost music at the edge of your hearing when you see the blade. And the fight is, like I said, it's 2 master swordsmen, so it is very fast.
So as you guys are clearly squaring off to fight, I do think Natalie is going to run up and be like, "Hey guys, what's happening?" This kind of not trying to get in the way of the blades, but trying to like separate you two. Not very well, because she's trying not to get in the way of the blades.
Yeah. I think Polgar says, this has to get sorted out now. If he's going to be constantly threatening us with his blade, then, well, the threats need to stop one way or the other.
I think you do get a stab off into Grald's chest.
Let's go with a cut to the a cut to the shoulder. From a parried blow to trying to take off to the other side, and then a shoulder cut. And I think that when the sword touches Grald's flesh, when it cuts through his armor and cuts into their flesh, they feel like they feel darkness and cold seep into their arm and run through their veins. I don't know if you've ever had an IV where the bag wasn't quite the right temperature and you can feel the cold of the liquid through your veins and kind of suffusing into your body. And that's what it feels like.
I think when you cut into my skin, I'm assuming it's like very, not super deep, but deep enough.
Yep.
You can see these silver hair like worms starting to slowly but surely like try to reattach my skin together. It's not healing it, it's just stitching me up. It's keeping me together.
I think that when the silver stitches close the wound over, they turn black. And I think that during that attempt where Polgar tried to, come and hit the girl's shoulder from the other side, while they were taking off, Grald gets the fatal thrust.
Yeah.
Tasman, we gotta.
Oh, you've killed them. How? I'll rush to your side, to Polgar's side.
And I think for like a minute, there is a bestiality to me just stabbing into Polgar. You are on the ground, you are dead at this point.
Well, nope, I get final words. Come on.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm going to rush over to you and just like, you must accept the covenant. You can join. You can join with this quickly. And I'll kind of grab one of the tendrils out of Trayvon and like offer it to you.
So Polgar,
it's your chance for life.
Polgar spits out blood, and it's not red, it's black. And kind of laughs through black-stained teeth, looks at Grald, and says, "You've killed me, and Horizon's Edge has tasted you, so good luck." They cough again. More blood, black blood dribbles over their lips. And they say, "I came to this place in the hopes that I could get far enough down that no one would ever have to pick up that fucking sword again. But you own it now, or it owns you. Be careful using it." Coughs, chokes again. "It's gonna eat you alive from the inside. We'll see who's more powerful, I guess. Horizon's Edge or the Empire's zombie makers."
Please, Polgar, accept the covenant. Accept the covenant.
I'm done being bonded to things. And then they die.
I do think Natalie is going to kick the sword away from Grawl She doesn't want girl to have 2 swords while none of the other 2 have any. So, in spite of whoever owns it or whatever, she is outright kicking Horizon's Edge away from you.
I think it's just a hilt now. Like when
it's just a hilt.
When Polgar died, the blade disappeared.
Either way, she's still kicking it away. She doesn't know how to work.
Fair enough. I think in keeping with Polgar's last wishes of not wanting to be tethered to anything, he's going to pull out his own sword, and he's going to start slashing and not very prettily slash and hack Polgar into pieces.
Oh, hell yeah.
Can't you just leave them to die in peace? Christ. Or actually, maybe not Christ. Maybe there isn't Christianity.
There's Neo Space Jesus.
Yep.
Neo Space Jesus.
Neo Space Christ.
Neo Space Christ.
I can see now what you are, Grold.
And what am I? As I slick my hair back with all the blood in it.
You never were truly alive. An automata, a nothing, an absence of soul. That is all you are. This place will eat you alive.
Is that scene?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's scene. I think that's a great ass way to end the scene. Way to go, Zuki.
All right, day 5. The 2 of clubs. I'm sorry, not clubs, spades. All right, spades. Ooh, the world intrudes. The outside world, that of people, politics, money, and power, intrudes. Describe what form the intrusion takes, then shuffle the spades disaster deck into the expedition deck. All right, so this is my scene to set. I think that Natalie, you receive a message on your data tablet, and on it, it says, "Heard you're inside the doom. If you can get out and bring me samples, I can support your research for as long as you need."
Ooh.
So Natalie has been offered by someone at their university, at their institution, if they can get out with samples of what's inside Chiron's doom, if they can escape with samples, then they will essentially get tenure.
Yeah, you know what? Because I think in her mind, she can always come back.
Yep.
Yeah, she will fiercely like respond, just be like, "What kind of samples? How many do you want? There's some weird stuff in here. Some of the stuff might be hard to get out, but I'll do my best."
Yeah. The message response is, the more you get out, the more leeway I will have to work the more I will be able to get you.
Excellent. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's the day. I think you guys continue to trek inwards, downwards, towards the interior of this.
Yeah, I think the prevalence of these lighted areas is becoming more and more intense. The buzzing of these firefly-like things is more prevalent. And we see several other corpses or half-living things embedded in the walls, but high above us, not as close as the last one.
The Tethered.
Ooh, good name. All right, Alex, it's your turn to... Well, first of all, is anyone leaving?
No.
Not yet. I need to get some samples, and there's probably some better ones the further down. I do think that she will not be telling anybody about this offer. But I do think she will be like casually trying to scrape some of the resin into, bags.
Sample bottles, things like that.
Yep.
Oh, surely one of the best samples is one of these bodies. Just get it down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I do think, Gerald, I think you start to, if you're okay with this, I think this is interesting. I think you start to just have this constant intrusive need to carry Horizon's Edge.
I mean, I was already going to take it as a trophy.
Cool.
I mean, so you will have to go through Natalie for that because she doesn't want you to have 2 swords.
All right. So
I don't want to have to kill another companion.
yeah, and
Just saying.
and you don't get to kill other explorers unless the cards say so. So
Right.
all right. So there is a tension set up with Grald trying to get his hands on the hilt of Horizon's Edge, which Natalie has.
Yeah, you know what? Natalie might actually take that as a sample too.
Ooh, that's interesting. When Natalie touches Horizon's Edge, it's very uncomfortable to hold it. Like, it feels inimical. It feels like constantly touching it, carrying it, holding it is profoundly uncomfortable. You feel cold all the time. You can't get warm. You find yourself wanting to eat even more.
Okay.
Like those gross, high density energy gels are suddenly delicious.
Ah. Yeah, I do think Natalie will probably like wrap the hilt in like a blanket or something, maybe leftover part like sleeping bag that Polga was carrying, just to kind of try and make it a little bit warmer, and then just shove it in her bag.
Yeah, it does not help a lot.
Yeah,
if at all.
Didn't think so.
All right, that's going to be Alex's turn next. All right, you ready?
Oh dear.
Oh boy. All right, let's scroll up. It is a diamond.
Is it a king of diamonds?
It is a king of diamonds.
What are the odds?
Well, the kings of all of the suits are in the deck, so one of the explorers dies in an accident. What secret does their death reveal?
I can see Natalie dying trying to get some sample of something, touching something that shouldn't be touched or reacts badly. Or
I think maybe you're trying to get one of those bodies down. Maybe you find one that's a bit closer and you hang back. And
so I will say Natalie, being like an anthropologist, will specifically make sure it's not one of your kin before trying to get it down.
Yeah, maybe it's one of Grald's people.
Yeah, see, I'm helping.
Ooh, yeah, she's helpful. All right, so let's describe the scene where they find the body of one of Grald's peeps. So let's. I'm sorry, Alex. This is your scene setting up. I'm going to facilitate my mouth shut. I get excited.
Oh no, that's okay. Honestly,
No, I'm the same way.
I do think like we're getting deeper and deeper, and I do think we still haven't seen any hint of the bottom the deeper we go. But I'm going to say maybe this is a body that is trapped in the floor. So we quite literally stumble upon it.
Ooh. So Grald, you recognize the body. It's like partially in the floor. You can't tell if it's like cut in half and set on the floor, or if the floor is like eating it.
Your kin, do they struggle against what is good for them, or do they accept it?
Preacher, I have no time for your... Let's just get this out. Let's just get them out of there.
You have no compassion for your kin, is that right? How could a thing like you feel emotion?
I ignore the crazy priestess.
Tasman, we did make an agreement that he could release his kin. Just like we made an agreement that you can leave yours there.
Natalie, would you mind helping me with this?
It would be unwise. That is all I will say.
He's going to pull out his sword and he's going to try and stab the ground to see if it's just because they're just stuck in there.
Okay. Yeah, I think Natalie will drop down to her hands and knees and kind of... So you can... Where you're trying to put your sword, try to get her hands underneath the part of the body you're trying to free, just so that she can try to give you a little bit more leverage.
Yeah. And then what happens, Alex?
I think as she does that, there's like a chittering sound as I'm not sure if it's like things coming from the body or the body itself is dissolving into these things, but there's just these like weird organic matter just starts crawling up her hands. And
I'm imagining like these worms, the silver worms, they're turning into like these, and you can say no to this, but they're like turning into the fireflies.
yeah, I like
Ooh.
that. Because if it's the same type of thing as you are, they would have the same worms. So yeah, I like that. As if like the whatever is happening to like the trees and stuff is also happening to the organic life inside these warriors.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when she notices that, she is going to stop, and I think at first she's going to try and like take one to kind of like, oh, this would be a good sample, but as more and more of them kind of start crawling up, she starts trying to bat them off, and
I think they start to swarm, around you.
And like I try to help, I try to get them off of you, but it's like it's no use. You're fucked.
Natalie,
Do they maybe dive into her skin?
I was going to say they go underneath her fingernails, and
it's like the mummy.
Yeah, exactly.
The scarab scene from the Mummy.
accept your divinity. Accept your divinity. Do not fight it.
And they're glowing inside, so you can see them as they dive deeper into your.
Yeah, kind of crawling along her veins.
Yeah, the same way that you can see a flashlight through the meat of your hand. You can see these bright sparks of light crawling up Natalie's arms and into their bodies.
And I do think, Tasman, as you're watching, this isn't like when Polgar was killed. This isn't the peaceful death that you imagined happened to your followers. This seems agonizing. And when she looks at you, she's not even hearing your words. She just has this, like, her eyes are practically screaming at you. This is not anything divine happening to her right now. And I think her last words are swallowed by the bugs or whatever they are.
Oh no.
Just a strangled scream.
Yeah.
I think the resin kind of softens. And you can say no to this. Sorry.
No. I like that. Keep going.
And I think the resin softens and you sink into the floor. As,
completely or to the same degree?
Like to the same degree as.
Nice. So now there are two bodies in the same in the floor.
She did not accept the covenant. She did not accept it. This is too bad.
And I go back to the body that is now all torn up and stuff, and I hold one of my kin's face, and I kind of like move their head a little bit, and you can see one silver worm kind of go into my skin. The surviving, like non-mutated one, goes into my skin, and I maybe shed a tear.
I think you have an intense and overwhelming desire to go through her stuff and get Horizon's Edge.
And I do that, yes. I go through Natalie's stuff and I get Horizon's Edge.
All right. So, what is the secret about the monument that this death has revealed?
I think that it does not want us to claim back those that it has taken. It is greedy.
I think that's it.
All right. Is anyone pulling out? We are down to Grald and Tasman, the two fanatics.
Natalie's having some second thoughts. Just
yeah. Natalie's like, damn, should have gone yesterday.
Should have gone yesterday.
That's her last thought.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
All right. So, anyone out?
No.
All right,
No.
Zuki, your turn to set the scene. And, 5 of diamonds. That's up to 4 diamonds.
How many do we start with?
6.
6. Okay.
All right. This is so perfect for you. The explorers uncover a hidden inscription. What does it say?
Okay, so Yeah, I think we find what is effectively a large kind of monument in the center of this, a large stele, which has writings in the ancient language of the precursors, and it it is it states, "We, the exalted, create new life with the hands of man."
Ooh. Okay.
Look at this. This is important. Look, the the ancients, they intended for this place to be a place of communion, of creation, of birth. A revenant like you could never understand. But there is salvation here, and I must prove myself worthy of it.
Does Grald respond?
I think Gerald is trying his best to ignore the obviously very prejudice against his kind.
All right.
Although he does feel a bit upset about his other two companions. Well, maybe not so much Polgar, but definitely Natalie was an innocent. So
Do you believe you have a soul, Gerald? Or do you believe it was stripped from you when you came back from death?
I believe I have a soul. I have a soul like anyone else.
It looks like you have many writhing under your skin. If that truly is what is within you, and perhaps you do. What are they?
They are me, and I am them.
Then you too are of the fractured mind, perhaps.
My mind is whole, unlike yours, priestess.
Mine must be cleansed, for I wish them to allow me in. They reject me. They crawl away from me, no matter how much I try. It is as if I am tainted.
Clearly.
No, I will redeem myself. I will show them that I am worthy of joining in the choir. You'll see.
Very well, then.
We must rest tonight, then. Here, at this place where the ancients themselves called out their own divinity, called out their own powers to the world. I'm sure soon we will find the nexus of that power. For now, we'll see. And I keep an eye open for your... You do not want me to reach that pinnacle, do you? That's why.
I'm only here for my kin.
That's why you killed Polgar.
We had a disagreement.
Over forcing us to enter the center of it. What are your true intentions? Tell me.
And I think when you say true intentions, I think I grasp the pendant that I have kind of attached to my armor. Just here to see my kin.
I think at that moment that you grasp the pendant, you again feel the intense urge to hold the hilt of Horizon's Edge in your hand.
This thing is like a needy little puppy, dude. Just wants to be held. All right. Jeez.
Do you? Does Grald?
Yeah. I got two hands still.
As he does, you look down and the threads stitching together the wounds on your sword arm, you watch as as they turn black, and the blackness is now crept up to your elbow. So your flesh is still normal colored, but the silver threads are now black.
Lovely.
Okay.
All right. Dev. Yeah, so everyone's still in.
We're still in.
Yeah. A fanatic and a revenant.
Yep, it's good times. All right. 3 of spades. Let's find the 3 of spades. And I did it right this time. Ooh. Another group sets up nearby. Who are they? How do they disrupt the expedition?
Ooh.
So let's broaden that a little bit to fit our fiction. So you guys are going to run across sapient things that can talk to you.
Well, it might be my kin.
Yeah, could be some of your kin who have not yet been subsumed by the Chiron's doom.
Yeah, I think Tasman, we stick by the monument for a couple days maybe before I push you to, we need to move because, staying still is death. I won that argument.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I have no wish to stay still. We must press on.
Is when we meet, there's like a branch strangely in the passages. I don't think at this point we had never seen any other like branching paths. It's just been one continuous path.
Like a long hallway. Cool.
Yeah. But coming down from one of the other paths, we see people that they don't look like me per se. They look all related.
Mm-hmm.
They have the red hair, the black eyes, the silver tinge of the skin.
Yep.
And I think this is when Grald is reunited with at least some of his kin.
So do we want to see that moment? Like Alex and I can play other revenants.
I mean, if you want to, yeah.
But I think they represent some kind of obstacle, right? So maybe they don't want us to proceed further.
Well, so the prompts are very much like we can do with them what we want. So this prompt is another group sets up nearby. Who are they? How do they disrupt the expedition? Spades is the deck of the world intruding on what's happening.
And I think if we were to say there was some kind of obstacle, they were an obstacle in like proceeding forward because he wants to stay with them. If they were, but we can.
Maybe all of their stitching is glowing.
Oh no.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
So you guys run across just another. Let's just have it be one. All right. So what is their name? Who is this person? Is it someone that I think it's someone you know? It has to be someone you know.
I think it is Nyla.
Nayla. All right.
Okay. Yes.
So you guys are walking down the corridor and you see what looks like a branching. And then Nayla steps around the corner. She's dressed like you, same armor, same energy claymore, but every place, every scar, every closed wound is crisscrossed by glowing, scintillating light.
I think I go up to Nayla and there's no embrace or anything like that. I don't think. I think maybe like we just kind of put palms together and then we kind of drop them.
Grald.
Nayla.
It's good that you're here.
It's good to see you.
Are you here to join us?
I was hoping to, if not, no, not exactly.
You have accepted the covenant. You are one with Chiron.
What is the covenant?
You have taken the power of Chiron. You have joined with him. But you walk and talk. That cannot be the same.
I serve Chiron.
Then yes, there is hope for you yet, Revenant.
I forget that my character's eyes are black, so I can't side-eye.
Oh, you can totally side-eye. You've got the little white pupils.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's pure black. There's no pupils. Yeah.
I'm making a joke.
Right.
I am with the Order of the Fractured Mind. My people are with you.
Oh, Chiron doesn't need soft things like you. You are food for Chiron.
Then you lie. I hear their voices. They sing in his choir, and you are merely a vessel, a physical manifestation of his needs.
So, Nayla kind of turns very dismissively away from Tasman and looks at Gerald and says, "Come, I will take you to the infirmary where we will fix. What has happened to your stitching?"
And I kind of I forget that I'm holding Horizon's Edge. Unfortunately, this got to me before you did.
That is death. You cannot join with you cannot serve Chiron, not with that blackness. I'm sorry, Geralt. You are no brother of mine.
I put my hand up. We kind of sadly, like there's no emotion, but it does feel sad. And I don't think Nyla would touch palms again.
Yeah, I think that when Geralt reaches out to touch palms, Nayla draws their sword.
Tasman, please stand back.
I'll let you deal with this false prophet.
You are a danger to Chiron. You carry death into its heart.
You're an apostate. You do not speak for Chiron.
I don't say anything as, again, I think we're both similar. We take an aggressive stance towards each other.
And when you take that aggressive stance, you feel a draw on your body. You can feel something indefinable. You didn't know you had it until you started losing it. And a steady trickle of it is forming the blade of Horizon's Edge.
I want to say instead of like the fiery edge, it's got like bits of the silver worm writhing along its edge.
Hell yeah.
So now it kind of like is, but they're turning black, right? So it looks kind of like
cilia.
Yeah, squirming black cilia.
Very cool. And unless you want it differently, I think the fight's very short. I think that every time you touch Nayla with Horizon's Edge, it's like lights are being snuffed out. I think it's short and it's brutal, and Nayla is easy to defeat. And when
I think
go ahead.
I think goodbye. And I say that as I stab in the place where I know kills us.
Mm-hmm. And
it's right. It's the base of the neck, right where the brainstem is.
Nice. And I think when you do kill, you get this surge of heat and warmth and wonderful things that only serves to highlight the hole in you that exists now. All right.
I think I am no longer Grald the Old Guard.
Yeah?
I am Grald the Hollow Vanguard.
Ooh, very nice. All right. Anyone jumping out?
I'm all in.
All in.
Yeah, all in.
All right. My turn to set the scene.
Please let it be a death. He cannot continue forward. My character cannot continue forward like this.
Well, bad luck. It is the 3 of Hearts. So Hearts has to do with tensions rising. Oh.
So between us, basically.
Yep. One of the explorers disagrees with the others and decides to go it alone. What do they disagree about, and what drives them back to the group?
That's because I'm a revenant.
Yeah, I think that. So, Zuki, what do you think? Do you think Tasman tries to get away from Geralt?
No, I think she now says to him, "It's clear more of your kin have infested this place, and they mean to stand in our way. You should go and dispatch them, while I continue to the center, as is my holy duty."
They may not consider me their family, but they are still my kin. I will not. Unless they attack me first, I will not hurt them.
They will surely kill you. There's no point.
Then I will die.
You represent a danger to my mission. I should go alone and leave you to deal with your undead problem.
I am waiting, priestess. You may leave if you want.
It's time that we parted ways. I've seen enough death at your hands.
Okay.
I wish you only the best, but perhaps there is redemption if you can oppose your kin in their sinful ways.
You are speaking an awful lot instead of a lot of moving. Remember, standing is death.
Perhaps we'll meet again.
Grandstanding is even more death.
So now Tasman goes it alone, and Tasman spends the day walking the halls by herself. And something happens to drive her back to the group, makes her feel like, no, oh shit, I actually do need to be around Gerald.
Mm.
And
I think maybe... Oh, no, carry on.
no, go for it. Go for it. I'm interested in your thoughts.
Maybe I come across a large group of these warriors that are blocking the way further into it, and I realise that only he can get me past them.
Yeah.
Since they regard me as an abomination.
Yeah. So no, I love this. I think that you reach a place that is a cross. It's an actual intersection. You find an actual honest to God intersection, and down one of it, there is a doorway with 4 revenants, all with the stitching, that coruscating light. And they are standing in front of that door, clearly on guard.
Yeah, and I have to kind of hang back and realise that I have to backtrack now and yes, make amends with...
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gerald's been following you because I think Gerald's probably been a step behind, making sure you're not getting into trouble.
Oh, he secretly cares.
Oh,
I'm such a horrible person. Excellent.
all right. So, what does Tasman do when she realizes that
I think
not only is she got revenants in front of her, she finally realizes that Gerald has been quietly walking behind her the entire time?
I'll just kind of scowl at you and then look over towards the others and it looks like we have a mutual problem in proceeding. My companion, my misguided child, can you deal with this for me?
Don't call me a child, and I'll see if I can deal with this peacefully.
My sweet, innocent unbeliever, aid me in my time of need.
If Gerald could roll his eyes, he would.
I think Gerald should be able to roll their eyes.
Action.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can look annoyed at
Fair
me.
enough.
I'll just smile.
All right. Does that feel like a good place to end the scene?
Yep,
Yeah.
All right.
We don't need to show
Is
the outcome.
anyone leaving?
Never.
All right. Here we go. I have drawn the King of Clubs.
Ooh. But we don't know how they're going to die, yes.
Yeah, the monument resists.
Mm.
The monument takes one of the explorers. What happened? What do the remaining explorers believe to be the fate of their lost companion?
Oh, so disappear.
I think this dovetails in really nicely with the place where we have left them, but it's also Dev's turn to introduce the scene. So I'm going to shut up and step back. Dev, the monument takes, I'm assuming, Gerald?
I want to say so here's the thing. I'm conflicted.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it takes Tasman because that's what Tasman wants.
But I don't think that the monument wants her. I think that's part of this. But yes, I'm happy for it to happen.
Yeah. On one hand, I think it would be rad if Gerald goes to fight the 4 or goes to talk to the 4 and they subdue him and take him away.
My idea is...
And this is your scene.
Similar.
Your idea wins.
Yeah.
My idea is similar, but instead it's we get through the doorway with the 4 revenants. I don't know. This might be selfish of me, but I kind of want Gerald to be the last one standing. But
So
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I mean, I've got ideas for what might happen at the end with my character, but equally, if you do too, I'm okay with either. But yeah, it's ultimately your decision.
You want to roll a d6? Odds it's
think-
you, evens it's Tasman.
I think these 4 revenants part as the door opens, and we see the person from the pendant from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Their hair is braided, they're glowing. We lock eyes. I think for the first time in days, how many days has it been? Like a whole week, right? Has passed basically.
We have drawn 9 cards, it looks like.
So almost a full week. Like no,
9 days.
a week and a week and 3 days.
Yeah.
You hear him kind of get emotional. Says Tala, and he tries to do the palm thing with Tala.
And I think that when he offers that, he offers it with his sword hand, which is the usual, and he recoils from the outstretched palm and draws weapons and says, "You carry death in your veins. Get out of Chiron."
And I think with that, like at first he denied it. Like, no, they're still my kin.
I think then you see and you realize that their threads are not holding together wounds. They are decorations for scars.
And that's when he pulls out Horizon's Edge and becomes Grawl, no longer the hollow vanguard, but the fractured warrior, and goes to battle with these 5 revenants.
Yep. Tasman, do you stay to watch or do you run?
I'm going to try and rush past.
All right. Well, maybe we'll see Geralt again. Let's find out.
Okay.
All right. So this is my turn. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
The king.
I have drawn the King of Spades.
Yeah.
Yep. So someone kills one of the explorers. Who was it? What happened? And I think that honestly, as Tasman darts past the fight, she makes it into the room. And the camera stays on the fight and the door, but the sound goes away completely. And all we hear is Tasman scream and start a prayer very loudly.
I accept the covenant. Give me my life. Accept me, Lord. And
the door swings shut.
So do we need to define more about what happened, or should we move on to it?
We can if you want, or we can leave it.
I mean, is there more narration about what the outcome is after this?
No. Your expedition, like many expeditions before, has failed. Chiron's doom stands waiting for the next group of explorers.
I think there is a little bit more narration. So you
go
see
for
the
it.
tendrils moving forwards towards her, and they kind of wrap around her, and she kind of gets this smile on her face as she expects to be accepted, and then they just tighten, and she just gets eviscerated and screams as she's just destroyed by this thing rather than pulled up into the heavens.
Nice.
And above her, you can see these other corpses that are looking down on her with disdain that she has attempted to do this and failed and come when she was forbidden.
I also have a little bit I would like to add.
Yeah.
We see kind of like not the mouth of the tunnel, but where the hives were at the beginning. We kind of stare down at the bottom where we would, bottom of the ramp. And we see as Geralt, he has Horizon's Edge in his hand. In his other hand is his lover, Tala's head, in the other hand.
Oof.
as he is staring, looking up at the top, waiting for someone to come to the bottom.
What color is the stitching on Geralt?
It is a mix of the two colors,
Which one's winning?
black and blue.
Nice.
I would say the black is winning.
All right. Well, congratulations, everyone. We've descended into Chiron's doom. We still don't know what's down there, but maybe after today we have a little bit of a better idea. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Nicole. I have been facilitating this game of Chiron's Doom. You can find me on Blue Sky or on Instagram at Five Goblins Pottery.
Who are you playing as?
Well, to be fair, yes, good point. I was playing as Polgar, the Horizon's Edge.
Indeed, and I was Zuki. You can find me at Zukizilla on Blue Sky. I was playing the Divine Tasmin, High Priestess of the Fractured Mind, who was truly misguided.
Alex?
Yeah, I'm Alex. I've been playing Natalie, Scholar of Tongues, and as usual, I don't have anything to plug.
And Dev.
Hi, I'm Dev. I played Geralt, the Old Guard, the Hollowed Vanguard, and the Fractured Soldier. It's a lot of titles.
It is.
And you can find me on Blue Sky on our main channel podcast on the Blue Sky on our Blue Sky. And also goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.